Jason Hairston took his own life at his home in Dixon, California on Tuesday. This was revealed by his wife Kirsten and the rest of the team at KUIU, the hunting apparel business that Hairston founded and watched grow into a company that was valued at $50 million earlier this year. That business also introduced Hairston to his good friend and fellow hunter Donald Trump Jr., who had just been on a trip in Canada with the entrepreneur hunting sheep just days before his suicide. We are incredibly saddened to report that Jason Hairston, the visionary leader and founder of KUIU, was found dead at his home in Dixon, California on September 4, 2018, said the company in a statement. He took his own life. Hairston was a star football player at the University of California, Davis, who went on to sign with the San Francisco 49ers and later play for the Denver Broncos. He was open about the effects of that career as well, saying in a 2016 interview, "I played linebacker, and the way I played the game, I led with my head. I played the way they tell us not to play now. I have all the symptoms of CTE. That is why his family is now asking that donations be made to Boston University Concussion Legacy Foundation." In addition to his wife Kirsten, Hairston is survived by his son Cash and daughter Coco. The last known photo of Hairston was posted by one of his many fans to social media, with the man writing, "Sorry for your loss. I was with Hairston on Sep 2 and proud Hope Day. Great guy." The photo shows Hairston with his son and two fans in the northernmost part of Alaska, which is one of the few portions of the United States that is actually located in the Arctic Circle. That was Sunday, just a few days before his sudden death. Share this article. Hairston is the latest NFL star to possibly lose his life due to CTE, which was found in former league players including Aaron Hernandez Jr. and Frank Gifford. A person cannot be diagnosed with CTE, chronic traumatic encephalopathy, while they are alive, even if they do suffer from clear symptoms. This is due to the fact that the only way to diagnose their CTE is in a post-mortem examination. One conducted by Boston University in 2015 found CTE in 87 out of 91 players. Hairston spoke about his symptoms in a 2016 interview with CNBC's Squawk Box, noting that he was pleased to see the league finally acknowledge that there was a link between CTE and football-related concussions. Hairston seemed to be enjoying his success and hard work over the past year, and in July, took a trip to Paris with his wife to celebrate his birthday. He shared a photo of himself and his wife at the Four Seasons on that trip, writing, "Celebrating my 47th with my best friend and soulmate in Paris, France tonight." Kirsten is currently the vice president of KUIU and could take over the company in the wake of her husband's death. Hairston's friendship with Don Jr. also got him a position with the federal government at the Department of the Interior, where he served as a liaison between the agency's head Ryan Zinke and sportsmen's groups on issues such as conservation and public lands. That role came after Hairston worked to drum up support among sportsmen's groups for Trump during the campaign, and it was Don Jr. who suggested his friend for the position. Hairston said when news of his position became public that he was actually Don Jr.'s second choice for the position. "It's really a role he was hoping to fill, but he can't because of conflict of interest," he told Politico. The two men got in one last trip just days ago, something that Don Jr. remembered as he paid tribute to his friend. Jason, I have no words. I will always remember our adventures and sharing a campfire with you, wrote Don Jr. On Instagram. They will be some of my fondest experiences in the outdoors. You were and will continue to be an inspiration to all outdoorsmen and women for generations to come. Thanks for the friendship and the memories, buddy. I'm going to miss you. Hairston's brother Adam thanked Don Jr. for his kind words on Instagram, mentioning the trip the two men recently took together. It was a successful trip this year for Don Jr., Hairston and their friends, who managed to catch a number of great northern pike and 2 bighorn sheep during their hunt. Matt Forsyth, who was once again joining Don Jr. on the trip, posed with the slain sheep for a photo on Instagram, writing, "One of our 2 stud rams from last week. Congrats to Jason Hairston on his beautiful sheep. Trip of a lifetime." Hairston also posted a photo with the other sheep, stating, "We covered a lot of miles over 6 hard days before my guide Brad Alexander found this heavy 10-year-old ram bedded alone in a basin." In his last photo on Instagram, he was seen heading off to hunt with his son and father. Brain injuries in sports, the fast facts about risks, tests, symptoms and research. Mia DeGraff, U.S. health editor. As athletes of all sports speak out about their brain injury fears, we run through the need to know facts about risks, symptoms, tests and research. 1. Concussion is a red herring. Big hits are not the problem. All head hits cause damage. All sports insist they are doing more to prevent concussions in athletes, to protect their brain health. However, Boston University, the leading center on this topic, published a groundbreaking study in January to demolish the obsession with concussions. Concussions, they found, are the red herring. It is not a big hit that triggers the beginning of a neurodegenerative brain disease. Nor does a big hit makes it more likely. In fact, it is the experience of repeated subconcussive hits over time that increases the likelihood of brain disease. In a nutshell, any tackle or header in a game, or even in practice, increases the risk of a player developing a brain disease. 2. What is the fear disease? CTE. Head hits can cause various brain injuries, including ALS, the disease Stephen Hawking had, Parkinson's, and dementia. But CTE is one that seems to be particularly associated with blows to the head, while the others occur commonly in non-athletes. CTE, chronic traumatic encephalopathy, is a degenerative brain disease that is caused by repeated hits to the head. It is very similar to Alzheimer's in the way that it starts with inflammation and a buildup of tau proteins in the brain. These clumps of tau protein build up in the frontal lobe, which controls emotional expression and judgment, similar to dementia. This interrupts normal functioning and blood flow in the brain, disrupting and killing nerve cells. Gradually, these proteins multiply and spread, slowly killing other cells in the brain. Over time, this process starts to trigger symptoms in the sufferer, including confusion, depression, and dementia. By the later stages, there are 4 stages of pathology. The tau deposits expand from the frontal lobe, at the top, to the temporal lobe, on the sides. This affects the amygdala and the hippocampus, which controls emotion and memory. 3. What are the symptoms sufferers and their families have described them turning into ghosts? CTE affects emotion, memory, spatial awareness, and anger control. Symptoms include suicidal thoughts, uncontrollable rage, irritability, forgetting names, people, things, like dementia, refusal to eat or talk. 4. Can sufferers be diagnosed during life? No. While a person may suffer from clear CTE symptoms, the only way to diagnose their CTE is in a post-mortem examination. More than 3,000 former athletes and military veterans have pledged to donate their brains to the Concussion Legacy Foundation for CTE research. Meanwhile, there are various studies on current and former players to identify biomarkers that could detect CTE.